I recently created my own end update with just command blocks and challenged my viewers to do the exact same. And that's what you're going to see today. I have 10 awesome creations that you guys are going to be able to see, the first 7 of which are unranked, but the last 3 are going to be my top 3. Make sure to stay until the very end because the number 1 is really cool and I want you guys to check it out. Alright, the first submission that we have is from Mad Detective, and this is actually submitted only on my Discord. So we're going to start with this one. He has a pretty cool use of FMBEs. You actually summon this Amethyst Crystal, and then it looks like you actually sneak again to actually shoot it out. It looks like it's shooting like mini Amethyst Crystals, and then has like a big Amethyst Crystal after a couple times, is what I'm thinking, is what it looks like it's happening. It's just a little bit harder to see the mini Amethyst Crystals that are getting shot out. But you can sort of see those armor stands spawn in, so it's like you raise it up and you shoot a couple. So pretty cool new end-related weapon. Next up by
I'm
8
Cleo, and I am hyped to bring you my first formal showcase video. We're looking at a custom command creation named Enma, built specifically for a challenge by the legend himself, Guppyduck. I can't wait to show you what this weapon can do, so let's get right into it. To start, I'm just holding a standard iron sword. I've applied a custom resource pack to match the aesthetic of my creation. Everything you see is done through vanilla commands. As you can see, the base sword is a bit underwhelming. It lacks that wow factor. Now let's switch over to the Enma. The visual and sound effects are on a whole different level, aren't they? Let's take it into combat and see just how easily it wipes out the enemy.
That's an impressive tower of commands. These heavy particle attacks, like what he's doing in this one, they just take a lot of commands and a lot of commitment, so shout out for that massive pillar. Also on mobile, it looks like, so this took some time. And I also like how it alternates between like swinging from the left and swinging from the right. So overall, I really enjoy this. The visuals, the audio, it all came out great. I also think the texture, even though that's not the focus of the tutorial, it looks really good. So overall, I would say great job, Cleo. Next up from NRED, we have this custom helper type thing. It is basically a superpower delay that you actually get through the end, and it's like a custom crafting recipe. It's called a Galex. But yeah, you throw like a Shulker and Dragon's Breath and an Elytra on top of the Ender Dragon egg, and that basically summons in this pet, which I think is pretty cool. I've actually done a long time ago, I did a superpower delay that actually had some similar features to this video, which I think is pretty cool. But I think he also did a very good job with the visuals. Obviously, it looks like using, I'm guessing that's the Ghast animation to make his body so big, but I don't, it could be other animations. I do think this little particle effect, sound effect, camera usage was really well done of saving the person from the end. So I think that's pretty cool. Just the way that he was able to do that. Like I said, I think the visuals overall are pretty good for this whole creation. It's also different and unique compared to a lot of the other creations that we have in this video, as I think this is the only companion type submission that I got. So obviously here you can see its combat prowess, kind of dashes between enemies and damage them. So you get the idea. I'm going to skip forward a little bit here just to show the next aspect, which is to just collect all XP and items in a huge area. Which, of course, just great extra utility, especially when it can wipe out mobs in a whole area. It's nice that it can also pick it up for you as well. Next up by Mr. Black, we have the End Rod, or the End Wand.
So ray, you can shoot a ray, and then you can levitate other mobs, and you damage them just until they die. And they just levitate they just levitate into the sky as you do it. So yeah, that's basically what happens. Then we have the Ender Vision. I'll show you what it is. If you sneak, basically, you turn it on. Ender Vision active. It basically just tracks every single enemy. Yeah, you can see that. You can find enemies a lot easier. And then we've got Ender Corruption, which seems pretty obvious, right? It just demolishes the world. It just turns it into something else entirely. So you can say goodbye to your nice, clean world. You can just terraform it into whatever you want. Yeah. Hope you liked it, Guppy.
Next up by Riley, we actually have something that's a little bit similar, but I did want to include this one as well, partially because I have been playing Terraria recently, and this very much reminded me of Terraria. This is basically, as you can see, a very corrupting spray, so a little bit different than an aura. It's like an actual spray, and we also have a purifier form which transforms it back, which, like I said, this just very much reminds me of the purifier. I've been playing a lot of Terraria recently, so next up from Pixel IG, we have 2 new items. Now I am going to skip a little bit ahead. I'm just going to turn this down. I'm going to skip just a little bit ahead past these signs. Remember, the full video is going to be available in the description if you want to see the full one. So this is pretty cool. It sucks you up into like this FMBE UFO, and there you're going to find a book. And it's going to give you some instructions for like a custom crafting recipe. Once again, I'm just going to skip a little bit ahead to showcase the command parts of this. So this is the first part, is the UFO, which is actually like a mount, which is a flying mount, which I think is really cool. I think maybe have it being a little bit faster would have been really nice, but it does have some attacks, which I think is pretty cool. Just overall good creation. It's a shame that we're losing FMBs, but they were fun while they lasted. And also we have the swapper, which does blind your screen, but it allows you to swap places with a mob. Alright, next up we have Skeleton Bone Gamers, who has a couple of new features for his end update. So, see, spawning in. I'm guessing this is supposed to be like a naturally occurring structure. You guys can read that for yourself. So the idea here is you're going to go up here and interact with some of the stuff. And that is going to summon a meteorite. I guess by sacrificing a netherite block. So pretty destructive, and then definitely lagging the game. Probably a little too many particles, but you know, never hurt anybody, I guess. So one of the things he does that's really cool, if you skip over here, is the way that you actually mine it. You see it drops the item, but then instantly gets replaced with meteorite, which I think is a really cool way to do it. And then he has custom crafting recipe over in the dispenser. This is off-camera mining, it looks like. Yeah, he has like a full set of meteorite armor, which I think is pretty cool. I think the visuals for it look really great, as far as like the trims and whatnot go. Plus, I'm not great with trims, but yeah, it looks pretty visually cool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna skip ahead. So basically, it looks like when you put a full set of armor on, you get this glowing ring around you, and he's gonna demonstrate what that does here in a second. Oh, take it off. So it's going to allow you to teleport 2 mobs, is what it does whenever you sneak. And then with the chestplate, it looks like it does like a damaged field, like aura around you. So pretty cool. Pretty cool new armor set. And there's the commands. Alright, we're finally getting to the top 3. So in 3rd place from Draco's Plays, we have the Arnox, which is this custom boss. He does a really good job of this, using play animations, FMBEs. There's some really cool stuff with the FMB specifically that I will point out to you when I show them on screen. But overall, just a pretty cool boss fight. I really like the ambiance. The arena's pretty cool. And even some dialogue that kind of gets into like almost some narrative of stuff. And so you can see there's this sort of back and forth dialogue that's kind of happening, as well as some animations to make it a little bit more interesting on top of camera commands. So a lot of stuff piled on together, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, you guys can read the dialogue for yourself. So overall, it's pretty cool. I like the way the use of particles are, especially for like adding the wings to the guy. And you have like this giant sky event that's happening, that's summoning meteors, or like falling meteor type things. And this is what I think is really cool is the tentacles. Like, this is actually pretty difficult to do these tentacles, and I think he did a very good job. It's just a cool little addition to the boss fight. So I say that's pretty sick. I like the little subtle plug. Shameless plug. Could not think of the term. And do remember all the original YouTube videos will be linked in the description. There is one that was on Discord that I can't link, but the rest will be in the description. Of course, you get a little teaser of what's greater than this boss, but also just some cool dialogue to finish off the fight with a little cutscene. So yeah, pretty cool boss fight overall. Even changes the fog during the fight, or maybe there was just it just so happened the purple to come on like right afterwards. But yeah, overall pretty cool fight by Draco. So pretty good job. Next up in second place we have Endy's End update. So this one is a little bit longer, but there's a lot to go off of here. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been changed in this end update that I think makes it really cool. So I think it's worth showing off the whole course of the video for it. So you'll see, like right off the bat, there's some changes to the end fight, which is always great. I mean, you get these new biome textures, these new looks that are sort of spawning in around the player. Slightly like new mob variants. Bunch of new biomes, which is really fun. And this is like an actual new mob type, just like an invisible thing with a floating skeleton skull. There really is actually a whole lot added in this, so for the most part I'm going to add a little bit of commentary here and there, but you can pause on screen if you want to see any of the words, or check out the original video. But yeah, Endy did a lot for this. There's a ton in this end update, which I think is great. A lot of new biomes, and yeah, that's pretty sick. Of course, you know, a little sneak peek into what the essence of the void is. And they even add some custom enchantment or like advancements in game, which I think is pretty cool, just using like text and tags and whatnot. So obviously not like an actual achievement, but I think it's pretty cool to add that, like as if there were a real update. This is where it gets really cool, I think, start getting into the world events. Like this rift where there's like an end invasion, I think it's just really awesome. We see you get like a custom inner pearl, does some extra stuff. A couple different staffs. So, like I said, there is a whole bunch of really cool things, and it's also... Nah, never mind. Flying swords are pretty cool too, I think. probably the best part is the actual boss fight itself. He's showing it in the overworld at first, and of course he has some resistance on. As you can see, pretty intimidating enemy right there. And it's actually somewhat similar to a boss that you usually see it a little bit, but we'll get into that. Yeah. So overall, a lot of good features: custom biomes, custom mobs, custom loot, resources, bunch of cool stuff. So big shout out to Andy. He did just an amazing job, put a ton of effort into this. Well deserving getting in the top 3. I mean, this has got 2nd place. So really good job, Andy. I'm very proud of your work. Finally, and I'm actually really excited about this one, specifically who this player is that got the 1st place position, because it's Derry Chutoy, who's actually done a number of submissions in the past for me for different challenges. And there's a couple of times where he either got really close to the top 3 or he did get like 2nd place. But he submitted a number of times, but he's just never quite got 1st place. There's always someone that beat him out, but he did such an amazing job on this submission. I think it's really clear why he deserves 1st place. The polish, everything goes into it. He even made his own music for this, which is just really impressive because I can't make music at all. By the way, I do want to point out, shooting star mode, especially the extra speed mode, is just super cool. I really like this aspect of the tool. All aspects of the tool are awesome. I've tried to be mostly quiet so you guys can hear the music that he made, but I just had to point that out. And also, I will say the boss is just super cool. It's a little bit difficult to tell the mechanics from the video, but it's just... he just does such a good job. He also did a really good job making this video, by the way, and like editing it together. And I did give him permission. So, by the way, doing things like this, it is still commands. It's just in a function file makes it less laggy. So this is completely legal. But I mean, you can just see the number of commands that he put into this would have been near impossible in terms of lag for command blocks. So yeah, overall, such a great job, Derry. I mean, this is, like I said, not your first submission, but yeah, you really knocked it out of the park. You went above and beyond. This was such a great creation overall. It's a shame that FMBs are going on the way out, but yeah, Derry Chutoy, I think you absolutely earned first place, and I'm sure everyone in the comments will agree. But even still, let me know what was your favorite one in the comments below. Let me know if you want to see more challenges like this. Thanks so much for watching.